Hey everyone, welcome to Groups. We're back in action and we're excited about this semester, and we're going through this series that we've started in the church called Why, and it's going to answer and ask all sorts of big questions. And so we're just really excited about that. It'd be a great one for you to bring your friends to, but here's the thing, we're in groups now, so we're going to talk about it a little bit. So this last Sunday, we started off the conversation around this idea of why should we even believe in God, which is an interesting idea to talk about at a church, right? And so, but as my dad went through his message, there was a lot of different topics, faith versus reason, and the case for God. And so we have a couple questions that we think that would be great for us to talk about in today's group session. And so we're gonna start with the first one. And the first question is, why do you guys think that so many people walk away from their faith? And what we mean by this question is like, what are the reasons? And we've listed off some reasons on Sunday morning, but we kind of want to go a little bit deeper. So when you think of someone that you know, or even if you had an experience where you walked away from your faith, what was the reason? And what do you think the reason is? And we'll get somewhere because of this, but we want to start here. So go ahead and discuss this for a few minutes and you'll meet me back here. And we're back. Welcome. You guys are pretty long-winded. That was crazy. But anyways, so that was a great first question, great first discussion. We hope you enjoyed that. Here's the second one, and this one will be a little bit fun. But we want you to make your best case for God. So here's what I mean. So let's say someone walks up to you on the street and says, I don't believe in God. And you say, well, I do believe in God. And they ask you, why do you believe in God? What's your answer? And the point of this is we want all of us to maybe bring our answers out and create an opportunity for the rest of us to maybe get some more tools in our tool belt of how to explain to people why we believe in God. And here's a disclaimer. None of us are ever trying to prove God to somebody else, because that would ruin the whole point of faith. But the idea is that if we could verbalize why we believe in God in an impactful way, then someone might be more keen to believe in us. And so take a couple minutes and give your best case for why you believe in God. Okay, we're back again. Thanks for discussing that. I heard some great stuff while you were talking, and so I'm gonna use some of those in my discussions. But anyways, here's a couple things we wanna end with. One thing that we wanted to make sure to emphasize is that there's always gonna be this fight between faith and reason. And so for us to always try and be logical about what God is doing and to put reason to it means that God has to somehow fit inside of our brains, inside of the box that we're creating for Him. And so we have to realize that in anything that we do in life, whether we believe in God or not in God, it's gonna require some faith. But here's the thing. We talked earlier about people walking away from their faith and all the different reasons. And one of the reasons that I heard coming up a lot was that they had some hurt in the church, or from a pastor, or from a friend in a small group, or something like that. There was some offense, and they, because of that, unfortunately, walk away from their faith. So here's the question, the last question we want to ask. And the question is, how can we as Christians make sure that we're not the reason that someone walks away from their faith? And I know this is a loaded question, and I know that it's never gonna happen perfectly, and people are gonna get offended, even if we try our best not to offend them. But for the most part, how do we as the body of Christ try our very best to make sure that people don't walk away from God because of an offense from us? Go ahead and discuss this. What's the best way that we can be better at not being part of the problem that people walk away from their faith? Go ahead. Hey, we're back. Thank you for doing all that. We hope your group time was awesome, and we thank you for joining us for small groups. And even if you're just watching this on YouTube, we hope this kind of conversation blessed you if you had a conversation with your family or friends in your neighborhood. But here's the thing we want to end with. Hebrews 11:3 says, by faith we understand that the entire universe was formed at God's command, that what we now see did not come from anything that can be seen. And what that means is that God created everything, and when we have the question of science versus God or whatever, one of my science teachers back in high school said that science done well actually points to God. If we seek the truth, we'll find it. Jesus is truth, and the truth will set you free. Later, homies.